W.F. Howes presents an unabridged recording of The Break, Life as a Cycling Maverick by Steve Cummings. Narrated by Robin Morrissey. Forward. Geraint Thomas. When I first met Steve, I was definitely nervous. The first time I'd come across him was reading about him in Cycling Weekly when he won the Eddie Soanes as a junior. That was impressive enough. Then he and Brad Wiggins were about 5 or 6 years older than me, and what they were doing, road racing and track racing and world championships and so on, they were the things I wanted to do in my career. On top of that, when we actually met face to face the first time, I'd just moved into the GB Senior Track Team Pursuit Squad, and even though he was one of the younger blokes in it, Steve was already one of the leaders and driving forces. He was hungry for it. You could just see that in him. And I really admired him and wanted to have the same attitude. At the same time, I was definitely nervous. Not just because of what he'd done as a racer. It was him being a Scouser as well, and you'd hear stories about them too. Seriously though, when I joined the group, to my relief, I found he was very approachable. At the same time, no matter what it was, Steve always had this attitude. I'm doing all this to be successful. Why aren't you? Steve wanted everyone around him to have that same outlook, and when they couldn't manage to do that, he struggled with it a bit. In team pursuit, you're reliant on the other guys to be as professional and as good as you, and that goes from everybody rolling out on time together on group training rides to being 100% committed to the racing. Yet he was super determined and wanted to do everything right too. And fortunately, I was of a similar mentality, so I ended up being quite close to him. I think when we had our best times together was at Karata in 2008 or so, when we were racing for the same team, Barlow World on the road. But I was focused on the track and the Olympics too. It was all part of a learning process to be a good racer, but at the same time, I was more of a track rider, and the road was more of a tool to get fit for that. There was a good group of us sharing the flat, and then meeting with everybody in the piazza in Karata for a coffee before training. It was a nice lifestyle, and serious too. If we had to do 5 hours training, more often than not, we'd do 5.5 or 6. Then, in the second part of my time there, it was harder for me. Because I'd been part of the British Cycling Academy, and suddenly I found I didn't have the support every day, which I'd been used to. I was out there doing it alone. But while I was young and single at that point, Steve was there with me.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?